All right. Microsoft Ignite 2024 in Chicago, huh? Now, there's always bring the energy into these things.
Right. It's like the Super Bowl for tech news.
Totally. And Satya Nadella did not disappoint with his keynote this year.
Oh, absolutely. Big picture stuff. You know our listeners are all about that, so we are going deep dive on all of it, right?
Absolutely. We're talking ubiquitous computing,
Yeah.
AI advancements, the works. So for everyone listening, buckle up. Let's break it down. So Nadella kept coming back to this idea of ambient intelligence. What did you gather from that?
Well, like, remember that scene in Her? The AI assistant just kind of understood the main character, knew what he needed before he even did. I think Nadella was painting a picture of that, but on a much grander scale. Ambient intelligence everywhere.
Okay, so less about cool gadgets and more about how tech fades into the background and just works seamlessly.
Right. Think about your commute. Traffic's bad. Your AI assistant automatically reroutes you, maybe even drafts a quick message explaining why you're going to be a few minutes late to your meeting. You didn't lift a finger, it just happened.
Okay, now that is helpful, but I have to ask.
I know what you're going to say. It sounds great in theory, but what did they actually announce?
Exactly. Glad you can read my mind. Give us the goods.
One of the biggest announcements was this thing called Microsoft Fabric. It's their unified analytics platform. Basically, everything data-related in one place.
I'll be honest. When I first heard that, I was like, ugh, another platform. Do we really need another one? But then I actually saw what they were doing with it. It's kind of like this giant digital toolbox.
Yes. Like, instead of having all these separate tools for data storage, analysis, AI, you name it, you've got it all integrated into Fabric. And it all just works together.
Which has got to be music to the ears of anyone who manages data in their jobs. Because it is everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. We're drowning in data. Microsoft Fabric is supposed to help businesses not just store it, but actually turn it into something useful, insights, predictions, better decisions.
Right. And speaking of data, that means talking about the cloud. And that means talking about Azure. Big announcements there too, right?
It's totally. Azure is kind of the engine behind a lot of this stuff. And they are laser focused on making it faster and greener. Sustainability was a big theme this year.
Yeah, I was actually surprised by how much they emphasized sustainability in the keynote. It wasn't just tacked on at the end. Was it like all their data centers will be running on renewable energy by 2025?
Something like that, yeah. And they're using AI to optimize their cooling systems, even redesigning the physical layout of servers to be more energy efficient. It's pretty impressive, actually.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Ambient intelligence, this new Microsoft Fabric thing, a greener Azure. But for the average person out there, like, why should they care about any of this?
Well, think about it. All this tech, all this innovation, it's all geared towards solving problems. We're talking about potentially life-changing stuff here, like using AI to develop new medical treatments or tackling climate change with smarter energy solutions.
Right. It's about more than just the newest gadget. It's about using technology to build a better future. So to wrap up here, if you're just joining us, or maybe you spaced out for a little bit there, here are the 3 key takeaways. Ambient intelligence, that's tech that anticipates your needs. Microsoft Fabric, like a giant toolbox for all your data needs. And finally, a more sustainable future for cloud computing.
All pointing towards a future where technology just works invisibly and for the betterment of humanity here.
Yeah, it did. I mean, less hype, more real-world applications.
Exactly. More focus on how AI can actually be useful instead of, just a cool science project.
Yeah, like Microsoft 365 Copilot. That was huge.
Right. Having AI baked into all your everyday work tools, that's game-changing.
Imagine Copilot summarizing like hours of meeting recordings for you, or even like drafting reports.
Whoa! I mean, that would free up so much time and mental energy.
Right. But is it really as good as they make it sound?
It's getting there. What's interesting is the shift away from artificial general intelligence. They seem less focused on creating like a super intelligent AI.
Yeah. Instead, they're focused on solving real problems with AI.
Right, like practical solutions, not just some far-off future tech.
Copilot is a perfect example. It's not about replacing humans.
Yeah.
It's more about making us better at what we do.
Think of it like this. It's giving you a superpower. Like suddenly you can analyze data way faster or draft presentations in minutes.
I gotta say, the demos I saw at Ignite were pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah. What'd you see?
Well, they had these hands-on labs where attendees could actually try out Copilot.
That's awesome. I wish I had more time to hit those up.
Yeah, it was cool. You could really see how these features could be useful in like your day-to-day work.
That hands-on approach is so important, right? It helps people visualize the possibilities. And it's not just AI that's getting practical either. Security was a big focus too.
Well, yeah. After all those high-profile data breaches this year,
Mhm.
it's definitely top of mind.
For sure. And Microsoft is taking it seriously. The Windows Resiliency Initiative was a major announcement.
Resiliency Initiative. What's that all about?
It's basically a whole new approach to security. They're looking at everything from hardware to software updates.
And AI plays a big role, right?
Absolutely. They're using AI to constantly monitor system activity, looking for any signs of a threat.
So it's like having a super vigilant security guard who never sleeps.
Exactly. Always on the lookout, ready to shut down an attack before it can even start.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
I mean, no system is perfect,
Mm.
but it sounds like they're really trying to make Windows more secure.
Yeah, they want to minimize the chances of a breach and make recovery faster if something does happen.
Which is critical for businesses
Yeah,
and individuals, too. Nobody wants their data compromised.
right. And speaking of business, another big theme at Ignite was AI for business transformation.
So not just about making individuals more productive, but actually changing how companies operate.
Exactly. AI is going way beyond just automating tasks. It's helping businesses make smarter decisions, optimize their operations.
We kept hearing about predictive analytics. Can you explain what that is and why it matters?
Sure, it's basically using data to predict future trends, like what products will sell best or what might disrupt your supply chain.
So basically, knowing what's going to happen before it happens.
Kind of. It's not magic.
Yeah.
But AI can analyze massive amounts of data and spot patterns that humans might miss.
That sounds powerful. But is it actually working in the real world?
Yeah, they presented a bunch of case studies at Ignite, like one retailer who used AI to optimize their inventory, reduced waste, increased profits.
Wow. So it's not just theoretical. AI is actually delivering results.
Yep, and it's only going to get more powerful, but
Yeah.
with great power comes great responsibility, right?
That's what I was thinking. As AI becomes more sophisticated, we need to make sure it's used ethically.
Totally. Microsoft gets that. They had several sessions on the ethical implications of AI, privacy bias, transparency.
So it's not just about building cool tech,
Yeah.
but making sure it benefits society.
Exactly. And that was something that really stood out to me at Ignite, the focus on responsible AI development.
Yeah. It felt like a more mature conversation this year. Less hype, more real-world concerns.
I agree. It's not just what can we do with AI, it's also what should we do with AI?
Big questions.
Yeah.
So where do you see the biggest opportunities for our listeners? Like, how can they get started with all this?
I'd say start exploring how AI can be applied to your specific field. Experiment with tools like Copilot. Get a feel for what's possible.
It's a learning curve, for sure, but it's an exciting time to be in tech.
No doubt AI is going to change everything, and it's up to us to shape that change for the better.
Well said. So that wraps up our deep dive into Microsoft Ignite 2024. Hopefully this gave you some food for thought.
Yeah, plenty to chew on, and hopefully it sparks some ideas for how you can use AI in your own work.
Definitely. And remember, this is just the beginning. AI is evolving rapidly. So
Yeah.
stay curious, keep learning, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one presenting your groundbreaking AI solution at Ignite next year.
Maybe. See you there.
Until then, stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of tech and keep innovating.